So today I get a chance to have a look at the brand new Beat-Sonic amplifier for the current generation of Lexus NX and GX series cars. This was sent through from a friend of mine at Lexart Australia, and hopefully we'll be able to give you a good walkthrough on how to install it into your car, as well as a sound test towards the end of the video, and also just summarize my final thoughts around it. But look, I'm pretty impressed in terms of the both the quality, this ease of installation, as well as the like the actual performance of the unit. But we'll get into that shortly. So as you saw a little bit earlier, it's all aluminum body. It does have independent gain controls, subwoofer pre-outs. It does come with this nice braided cable with a clear instruction guide in English, which is good. And it also has detailed specification of the amplifiers, as well as some colored photographs. Often that's lacking in some of these manuals. So, but I didn't really have to refer to it all that much, and if you follow this guide, you should be okay. So onto the installation of the Beat-Sonic amp. First, we'll start by taking out the glove box, and there's effectively two tabs, one on either side. Use a flashlight if you can't see it properly. There will be one on the right, and there will also be one on the left hand side, and then it's a matter of just pulling it straight out and then just putting it away. We can remove this plastic trim piece, and there are several clips on here, so just be careful and pull them straight backwards, otherwise you might break it. Next, you're going to want to remove the gear knob. So turn the gear knob counterclockwise to remove it, and then we want to remove the trim piece around the gear stick area, and it should lift straight up. Disconnect the cable that is attached to the trim piece, and then put that safely away. Next, you'll want to remove the contents from your center console. There's a piece of grey carpet which you'll need to remove, and then you'll see three 10mm bolts. Unscrew them, and then the back half of the entire center console area should become loose. Next, pull on the rear trim piece and go ahead and disconnect the three plugs that are attached to this piece. Out of the car and pull out the trim piece near the footwell, and then also remove the trim piece that's towards the gear shift area. Repeat the same process for the other side and ensure any plugs are disconnected. Piece of trim you want to remove is the cup holder. Now there's a little piece of plastic that needs to be removed before you can remove the cup holder area. So gently pull that straight out. It should be a matter of pulling up the cup holder piece. Next, you want to remove the gear shift assembly. There's four bolts attached to this. They are a 12mm, and then once you've removed that, you can then pull it straight up and then disconnect any attached wiring. Next, we'll remove the phone charger area. First we need to start with the upper piece. Pull that straight out and disconnect any attached wiring. And this will give you access to the wireless charger area. You can pull that straight out. And there are several wires attached to this. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 plugs associated with that. And there is also a cable stay, which you need to then put a flathead on to remove that cable stay. Next, we've got two 12mm bolts that hold the front part of the assembly. So unscrew them. Next, we have a metal stand for the gear lever that needs to come out. There are 4 10mm bolts, so you can pull that straight out, and this will give you access to the wiring harness, which you'll need to do the same thing and ensure that you can remove that that cable stay as well. It's easier if you push on it from this side, on the left hand side. Now the whole assembly is just about ready to come out. Just give it a small wiggle and pull it back slightly and make sure that there are no cables still attached. And once you've confirmed that, you can then lift the entire unit up and it should come straight out. Now you can see the amplifier, it's facing the passenger side seat. It's the bottom unit that you see there, and it has quite a large amplifier connector. So we'll go ahead and disconnect that. There are specific instructions on how you disconnect it. You first need to push on a clip and then pull it straight out. It's pretty straightforward. And then you grab your new Beat-Sonic harness and connect it to the male side to the female side of the factory amp. And then you've got another female plug which will connect back into the factory harness. Next, with the 3 remaining plugs on the other end of the harness, connect that to the amplifier. Ensure that the gains are still set in the middle position, as well as auto sense set to speaker. Leave the remote wire unless you're going to run an aftermarket amplifier for your subwoofer. Next, we want to remove the passenger seat. So undo the 4 bolts. They're a T50 design bolt. And then that will allow you to push the seat backwards. With the seat in the tilted position, we now have better access to what's underneath, and we can run our cable directly through the carpet, and then we can mount the amplifier to the back of this seat. Now I've used a couple of zip ties to hold this into there's a plastic bracket on the back of the seat, and then you can cover that up with the carpet. Now that that's all installed, it's just a matter of reversing the procedure to put the trim back together, and we're ready for our sound test. So I'll move over to the sound test. I'm going to do a before and after so you guys get a better idea, and I'll post my settings on here as well. Now we move over to the sound test. I'll do a before and after. I'm going to set it at about 75% of maximum volume on the head unit with no fade, front and rear, and all of the EQ mix set to neutral. This should give us a good indication of the before and after performance. On the iPad, I'll be doing a wave analysis using a properly calibrated microphone. It's a Dayton Audio microphone, calibration mic. So this should give us a pretty good indication of how it performs.
Beats production. Noble Beats production.
So there we have it. So my final thoughts on this amplifier. Look, the installation was pretty straightforward. There are quite a few trim pieces to remove, but there's nothing too major. It did go together very simply because of the OEM integration harness, which is a great thing. Look, in terms of the final performance, I was actually pretty impressed. We're talking 76 decibels to 89 decibels at exactly the same sound level settings. I didn't even add any gains, to be honest. And look, that's pretty impressive. There was no discernible reduction in quality. In fact, the quality probably was enhanced. The mids felt a lot stronger. The highs definitely felt stronger. I am keen to add an aftermarket subwoofer to this, just so that we can add a bit of feel, but I don't think that will really affect the performance of this amplifier. Overall, it's quite a good little unit. It's actually a really good option, especially if you've got an NX450H Plus with the OEM Toyota amplifier, not the Mark Livingston system. So do I think it's worthwhile? Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think it's a worthwhile upgrade with scope for more, expansion in the future as well. So that's all that could really be said about this. I just want to give out a big shout out to Danny at Lexart for hooking me up with this amp, as well as Beat-Sonic Japan for sending me over this amp for review. And yeah, look, if you got any questions, hit me up in the comments. Cheers.